The advancements in AI music generation are getting more and more exciting every day, and I've got some really cool stuff to show you today. Welcome back to the channel where we discuss the creative uses of AI, and Ace Studio is a piece of software I have covered a few times on this channel, and it just gets increasingly better. And I highly recommend, if you have not heard of Ace Studio or haven't really spent any time with it at all, to check out at least a couple of the last videos we've done on this platform, because since the very first time I reviewed it, it has improved so much in terms of what it will do. Now, if you don't know what Ace Studio is, let me sum it up for you just really briefly. In essence, what Ace Studio allows you to do is to create high-quality vocal tracks without the need for a singer. And there are several ways to do this in the platform, many of which I've covered on previous videos, and you will get a peek at today. Although today we're focusing on a couple of brand new features that make this program even more powerful and fun to work with. Last week we did a video on how to take the songs that you generate in other AI music generation platforms and then replace the AI-generated voice with your voice or another voice that you clone. Ace Studio is still another tool that allows you to do this, and in a couple of different ways. And today, one of the new features I'm going to show you is a new way to input this music data. But let's just use this example of replacing a voice in some AI-generated song that you did, and Ace makes this drop dead simple and gives you lots of flexibility for remixing as well. The easiest way to do this is just to take an MP3 file and drop it right onto the timeline. This is actually an AI-generated song that I've shared on the channel before called Make Out Magic, which I wrote for Tracy for Christmas, so let's just listen to a few seconds of it.
Tracy, I love you. You know that it's true.
Okay, so now if we want to change out that voice here in Ace, there's a couple of ways we can do it. But the first thing we want to do is to separate these stems and isolate that vocal channel, and we can do that by clicking right here where it says split into stems. And we will just go with the default that comes up here and click on split, and we'll wait just a few seconds, and then we'll have these all split out. Split complete. So here we have the vocal track, the drum track, bass track, and others track. So we'll just isolate this vocal track and listen.
Tracy, I love you. You know that it's true.
There are two ways to convert this to another voice, one being infinitely more flexible than the other. And that flexible way is the way that we've been able to do it for quite some time. And that is to take this vocal track, convert it into MIDI and lyrics. So let's just click this button here and see what happens. Keep everything default here, click convert. While it's doing its thing, it has created a track called a singer track, and they've placed a default singer, Ember Rose, into this track. And she's just one of many, many voices you can choose from along the side here. And all of these that are marked new are awesome. When I first started reviewing this program way back when, the voices that they had were all down here at the bottom of the list, and they were all basically trained with Chinese voices. So although you could type in English lyrics to get English words out, it didn't really sound right. But now these new voices are incredible. And again, I urge you to go check out some of the recent videos where I really get into some of these newer voices. Okay, so now that it's converted all of our singing into MIDI notes, let's zoom in here and see what we've got. This kind of falls under the basic functionality. If you are familiar at all with MIDI software, you probably recognize this keyboard layout. This has converted all the vocal tracks into individual notes and syllables, and it's done its best to convert the lyrics it hears into words that it can replicate. Let's just listen to now what it's doing. We're going to solo now this Ember Rose track. What we're going to be hearing here is now an AI voice reading the words that were transcribed, along with following all the little modulation and vibrato notes it picked up automatically when converting the voice. So let's just listen to what it did.
Tracy, I love you. You know that it's true.
So that's a female voice, and it's about an octave too low to sound correct. We can quickly remedy that by clicking down here in the edit area, clicking Control-A to select all, holding the Shift key, and clicking the up arrow. That will take that entire track up, and now let's listen to it.
Tracy, I love you. You know that it's true.
It is not a rendered WAV file. This is happening in real time, and I can go and change all of these lyrics just by typing different lyrics here. I have the ability to edit the vibrato and the modulation with these tools along here. I won't get into that now because that's not what this video is about. But if I wanted to hear a different voice, let's say a male voice, I would scroll down and we'll pick this guy Robert. He's a baritone. We'll see how that works. I'm going to just drag that in. That's going to replace it. Now, because it is a male voice, I'm going to go back down here. I'm going to select all the notes again, hit Shift and down arrow, and take it back into that lower register. And now let's listen to what it's done here.
I love you. You know that it's true.
Now this guy is an opera singer, and you can tell that he's trying to enunciate words in a way that aren't natural for like this country song. So let's see if we can find a more appropriate voice. I'm just going to go up here to the very top of this section here where the search bar is. I'm going to type country. and see what kind of voices. It has now given us a choice of voices to choose from. This guy has a cowboy hat on, so let's take Adrian and drop him in there, and let's re-render this and see what this sounds like.
AC, I love you. You know that it's true.
Obviously that's not perfect, it's got some of the pronunciation wrong, but that's what this tool is for, is to go in there and you have the ability to tweak it, change the words, change the modulation, fix any weird pronunciation errors. It's infinitely flexible and incredible that way. You also have the ability to add effects to these channels like reverb and EQ, compression, and de-essing. And then now let's unsolo this. Now what we have are the separated tracks. When we did this conversion into MIDI data, the program automatically deactivated this audio channel. So now when we play this back, we're going to hear the original music with the new voice.
I love you. You know that it's true.
And what's great about this is we can tweak this voice all day long. If we switch back to the voice tab here, you'll see that Adrian's just one voice here. We can click the plus sign and add somebody else like Steele, who is another recommended. And we can play with how much what the mix is. And let's listen to this, see if we can tell a difference.
AC, I love you. You know that it's true.
So it's got a little bit lighter quality than the first one. It's one way to convert to any number of voices or a combination of voices. You can even go into choir mode here and not just add multiple tonality to a voice like we just showed you, but actually multiple voices. So you have a whole group of singers singing the same part, which you can place on the stage just by dragging in other singers and then dragging them around and positioning them wherever you'd like. It's pretty phenomenal. Again, I've got another whole video on that you can watch. So that functionality I just showed you is what Ace Studio is really built all around. And it does give you the ultimate in flexibility to change everything. But if you just need a quick vocal conversion like we've seen in other programs, it will do that too. So let's go up here and we'll go ahead and delete this track that we generated into MIDI data. We'll go back to the original vocal track. I'll right click here and activate it again, which was automatically deactivated as I said before. So now I'm going to select this audio clip. I'll go ahead and solo it as well. And now we're going to go to the voice changer tab. And again, we have a wide range of voices that we can choose from, including the ability to create our own model with samples of our own voice. And what's really cool about this tool is you can do more than one conversion at a time, so you can quickly test out different voices. For example, if I wanted a female version of this voice, let's say I wanted to choose Jessica, I can click right here and do the appropriate correction to the semitones so that it will go up an octave, which is appropriate for a female voice. So I'll choose that there and I'll click apply. But if I want to do another guy, let's say Blaze, I have the ability to change all that stuff, but I won't right now because I don't need to. I could add Trey and then I could add Emma, but if I add Emma, then I want to change those semitones again to plus 12 and click apply. Now I have 4 possible generations it's going to give me. I just click on convert here and give it some time to do that. You can see the progress of the conversion along here. We'll see that Jessica is just about done and we can preview Jessica right here.
Tracy, I love you. You know that it's true. I love and appreciate all that you do.
So it's not as high quality as when you convert it to the MIDI data and use these other voices, and you certainly don't have the flexibility. Let's listen to this conversion with Blaze.
Tracy, I love you. You know that it's true. I love and appreciate all that you do.
You'll notice at the very beginning, we've already got some digital distortion with all of these, like
Tracy, I love.
on Tracy, but that was also here in the original separation.
Tracy, I love you.
And that's just what happens when you generate with AI in general. So the quality there is a result of the quality of what you put in there. So if it's goofy going in, it's probably going to be goofy coming out. We'll listen to Emma real quick.
Tracy, I love you. You know that it's true. I love and appreciate.
All right, so let's say we wanted to use Emma as the replacement voice. We can just drag her right in to a blank track, and we can choose to mute the original track or let Emma sing with. I know we're probably going to want to add some EQ and stuff to Emma. So let me go ahead and go to the Emma track. I'm going to click on the basic effects. I'm just going to click all these here, open them up. I'll stay with the hall reverb. I'll pop it up a little bit and play with the compression a little, and I'll change the EQ to bright. And then now let's see what this all sounds like together. I want to mute the original vocal and just see what Emma sounds like with this.
I love you. You know that it's true. I love and appreciate all that you do.
So really, when it's all in the mix like that, it's not that bad. And if I wanted to bring Trey in, I could just bring him on in another track as well. Make similar adjustments to the effects. Listen to what they sound like together.
Tracy, I love you.
got the ability to pan the tracks a little bit, maybe put her on the right, him on the left.
Thank you, Tracy, and let's face facts.
Anyway, you want to do a lot more work on that to get this mix right, but functionally you see what you can do to get your voice converted and have various degrees of flexibility and control. The first way I showed you being by far the most flexible. So I've started a new project here to show you a new way that they've just added to be able to input note data for your songs. And this has been a long time coming, and I'm so excited that it is finally here. To demonstrate it, we'll choose a singer track. We'll just choose Adrian, he's fine. And up here now, we have the ability to choose a device for MIDI input. And in this case, all ends is just fine, or I can choose the actual MIDI keyboard I have here behind me, which is off camera. So I will be reaching for it awkwardly to do this demonstration. Now, when I click and activate the record button, when I click the keyboard back here, you'll see activity here on the meters. And that just says that it's registering the MIDI input. So if I want to hear what I've got going on here, make sure the track is selected, click these headphones here, and I'll hear a little piano preview. Let me just do something simple to show you. I'm going to turn on the metronome here and just record a few notes. Adorable, right? Now I have all this note data here, and it has some default lyrics here. It defaults to dot. If I played this with the Adrian voice, because I'm reaching over here and I was playing the very high end of the keyboard, this will probably be out of his range, but let's listen. Yeah, a little bit high for him. Let's select him again, and we'll do the shift arrow down. Okay, so that's his voice, and as I showed you before, we can replace that out with any other voices that we have, including voices that we have created on our own. There's not much more I need to elaborate there. Now you can actually arrange these things via keyboard from within the program, and you don't have to do them from outside of the program. By the way, you could just hit record and sing the melody yourself and have it converted to the MIDI data and do the exact same thing as if you typed it in. Basic functionality, please see previous videos. If you are a MIDI musician and you have bought sound libraries for various instruments, you know that some of these things can be multiple gigabytes for just one instrument. But Ace has just added the first of many AI instruments to come in the form of their AI Violin. And there are 3 different versions of it. And to me, they sound really good, especially considering I didn't have to download some huge library of violin samples. Let me just throw in a few notes with the MIDI keyboard like I showed you before, and then I'm going to show you an example of how good this really can sound and how easy it is to use these things. So I'll click Add a Track, and I will click Set as AI Instrument Track. I'm going to go over here to AI Instruments, and you'll see that we just have these 3 right here. I'm going to go ahead and drop this one in that is labeled, and forgive me if I pronounce this wrong, Gabriel Bashi. This is a violinist that Ace Studio has worked with to create these samples, so they're not just like stolen out there or sampled off of something else. Just like when they added the Clara voice that we talked about several videos ago, they have arrangements with all of these musicians so they all benefit when their work is used. Again, I'm going to choose these headphones up here so I can monitor what I'm doing. Click on record, and you'll see that as I play on my keyboard, you can hear it, at least a default output. Got some vibrato on there. And again, forgive me because I'm reaching back with my left hand and I really can't see what I'm doing. I don't have the most optimal MIDI recording setup at the moment for video, but let's just record a few bars again. Very simple. We play it back. Now you'll see it put some nuances on there that we didn't hear when we input it. It improves it greatly. So right out of the gate, I think that the quality is really good. This is the beta version of this instrument, and they're adding all sorts of improvement for expression and other forms of control. Right here, you can see that if we want to, we can create an ensemble, much like the choir feature for the voices. We can drag other violins. So there's 2 different kinds of violins here. So if we add this one in and this one in, and now let's go back and listen to what this track sounds like. So hopefully you can hear all those nuanced different types of violins in there. Like in the choir feature, we have the ability to change the spread of these instruments and the offset between them so they don't sound like they're right on top of each other. Default values work great for me. But to really show this off, let's use one of their song templates here. We're going to create a whole new project here. And we're going to use the Wellerman song, which is so much fun. We'll use the short version here. I'm just going to double click this. It adds it right here. These templates, by the way, are a great way to learn the program and to see how they've done their various mixing, what effects they use, and how they have things like modulation and pitch set up. Great way to learn. Now, in this case, let's just listen to what this sounds like. This will probably sound familiar to you. This is just out of the box. This is all generated from MIDI data. These are not WAV files being played.
There once was a ship that put to sea. The name of the ship was the Billy O.T. The wind blew up her bow, it down, and blow all my bully boys low. Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the dubbing is done, we'll take our leave and go.
Okay, so now that's all done with voices. Let's do it with these AI violins and let you see what these things can sound like. So I'm going to just add an AI track down here. We've got that first violin, which is just fine. So let's start with this main melody line here. I'll just select it. I'll right mouse click, click on copy, come down here to this violin track, right mouse click, click on paste. So let's solo this and see where we are. Now we're losing notes because it's too low. So just like we did before, we just need to select that track. Here's all the notes. I'm going to click Control A. Let's see what clicking up arrow once does to the sound. Now that already sounds appropriate for the violin, and that was all the MIDI data for the voice. So now let's add another track, set it as an AI track, and let's choose this second line of harmony here. I'll just right click, click on copy, come down to this track, paste it, and we'll just start near where the harmony would start. Those last notes dropped out because I did not take these notes and raise them up an octave, but I wanted to see what it sounded like, and it really wasn't that bad until we lost those notes. But now let's take it up to where we know it needs to be. And we can nuance this second track too by using this ensemble feature to add maybe both of these in here. Now let's listen to what it sounds like together. So now the harmony might be just a little too overpowering there with all those violins, so I can just bring those levels down. But let's continue. Let's get all the harmony tracks in there. So I'm going to right mouse click this other one, scroll down, add a track, make it an AI instrument, click right here and paste. Same thing with this last track, copy, come down here, create another instrument track and paste that. We can flesh these ensembles out. Let's just for fun, we'll drag one of the original violins in there, and then we'll add this vintage violin. And let's just play it like that. Let's solo all these violin parts and hear them together. So that was a brief summary of the updates to the Ace Studio program, the added ability to input note data with a MIDI keyboard, the new AI instrument feature, including the violins, and voice conversion to any number of voices, including voices you can clone yourself. If this is the type of breakthrough you like learning about, well, why not subscribe to this channel if you haven't already? Because these are the types of things we talk about all the time.
If you subscribe now, I will not look for you. I will not pursue you. But if you do not, I will look for you. I will find you. And I